Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mo, and as always I'm very happy to have you guys here. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the family. If you're just passing by and this is the first time you're watching my videos, please click the subscribe button and join my family because I want you here. If you're a regular subscriber and you're back, welcome back, and I'm happy to have you here. So today's chat is for my girls. If you're a guy and you're watching this video, feel free to stay, but it's definitely for my girls. And today we're going to be talking about menstrual pain, period pain, dysmenorrhea, and I'm just going to be sharing with you guys how I deal with it. So this is from the perspective of a pharmacy student, but mostly from personal experience. Just want to say that nobody knows your body more than you do. So as much as we can go to gynecologists, we can read literature, we can, you can listen to a YouTube video from Bo talking about it. At the end of the day, you know what works for your body. So you have to be very aware of your body. When you try out things, know what works and what doesn't. It's not a direct science as some people like to make it, where, if they say use this, that's gonna work. It's not always like that. It's not gonna work. It might not work for you, it might work for me, and for the next person they have a completely different experience with those methods, whatever medication etc that they use. I did ask you guys to ask me questions on my Instagram. I'm going to answer those at the end. So now I'm just going to talk about how I deal with my time of the month and how I handle it. So for me, I do have really bad dysmenorrhea, which is like bad period cramps and just an overall feeling of being sick during that time. It usually lasts it's usually, as most girls know, it's usually on the second day of your period. That's when I get the worst of the pain, and that's when I usually take all these measures, because other days, as much as it's painful, it's not as bad. But the second day, I know if I have classes, I know I'm not attending those classes. I'm staying in, barely can eat sometimes. I'm sleeping the whole day and probably for most of the night. So that's just how mine is. But over the years, I've learned ways to make it easier for me to be able to handle that day. And my number one thing that I always make sure I have all the time, like if you come to me at any point in time, you know I'm gonna have this. And this is my adcomefenamic pills. This is how the box looks. If you're in South Africa, they have adcomefenamic, but before I came to South Africa, and for about 2 years since I came, I would get my medication from home. I'll just get my medication for the entire semester from home. So I used to get just mefenamic acid in Zimbabwe, but this is adcomefenamic. So I have been using this for a couple of years now, and I swear by them. As far as period pain goes, menstrual pain, dysmenorrhea, I really swear by them. This medication is an NSAID, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. Basically, it's a painkiller, and it also reduces your amount of bleeding. So it controls your bleeding, prevents blood loss during your period. So I use it every single time. How I use it, because I did say that like sometimes I get my period pain 2 weeks before, a week before. So my doctor initially, when I got this prescribed, I used to take it 3 days before. No, sorry, I used to take it 7 days before my period started. So obviously you kind of have to know when your dates are. For me, my periods are by the clock. So I know 28 days is my cycle most of the time. So I can gauge when I'm getting my period. But I also use a period tracker that comes with my Fitbit app. So I do check, so I know when I'm getting my period. And the more you know about yourself, the more you learn about yourself, your body tells you. So I know when my period is about to come, I start getting the cramps, etc. So that's when I'll take the medication. I'll take it 3 times a day for 7 days before my period. Now I take it 3 days before. When I start having the pain, I take it 3 days before. And on the second day of my period, I take it 3 times a day. I just thought it was better for me to reduce the dosage I was taking, but this was just a personal decision, and also from what I've learned in school. But I'll suggest that if you want to try and take this medication, you do speak to your gynae, you do speak to your doctor, and it's not obviously, but it's an over-the-counter drug. But for the first time you're going to take it, just maybe talk to your doctor and see if that's the best option for you. And once it's prescribed the first time, then if it's working for you, just continue buying it every month. But for me, It definitely works. I also struggle with excessive bleeding, but I think that it has started to really help, and it's not as bad as it used to be before. I really do see a change, and I'm not struggling as much. So someone did ask me, I know I said I'd answer Instagram questions at the end, but since it's relevant now, someone did ask me how to deal with excessive bleeding and all of that. So this is one of the things that has definitely helped me with that. But I'll also tell you the other things that I've used towards the end. So the second thing for me that I use is this cranberry, apple, and cinnamon tea. This tea is terrible. Not gonna lie, I know that there might be some people who like it, but I really don't like. I don't like how this tea tastes, but it does help. So I know if you put honey, because it has cranberry, apple, and cinnamon, if you add honey to it, it helps just like with your period. I don't know exactly how it helps, but I do know that it helps to make it feel better. I personally think that sometimes just drinking tea, any tea whatsoever, can help you because it like just warms your insides up. So I drink this only during my periods. Like I said, it doesn't taste nice, but I drink it the first and the second day, and it does help with the pain. The thing that I use is a hot water bottle. So on my second day, like I already said, that's the worst day for me. I heat it up and I just keep it here around my abdomen, my lower abdomen, for the whole duration of the day when I'm sleeping, etc. I do have like a rechargeable one, so it's not the one where you pour water in, it's electric, so you recharge it, so it's easier to use that. I'll suggest, if you really do struggle, just buy an electric one where you can reheat it, because at least it's convenient. You don't have to be getting up to heat water, and all of that all the time. So you just reheat it and it lasts really long. It's really warm, and you can be comfortable, because you really do want to be comfortable during your periods as well. Those are the main three things that I use for my period, but there's also things that you can do to make things easier. For instance, taking hot showers, taking hot baths, it helps warm your insides up, like I already said, your abdominal area. Usually with the pain, the cramps and stuff like that, it's because you're usually passing blood clots. So they make your period so much more painful than normal. So if you really observe yourself and everything, you can see that when you pass a lot of clots etc on your period, it can be really painful, more painful than normal. So that's where those cramps come from. So just be aware of that. Like I already said, you also have to really know your body and know how it works, and be aware of yourself. I also know that with periods, sometimes they come with mood swings. So just being aware that of your cycle. Like I feel like it's very important to track your cycle. There are some apps like the Flow app. I think I've used it once. Flow, I think. FLO, yeah. So I think I've used that once, but then now, like I said, I use the Fitbit app that comes in with a built-in period tracker that I use. But also, like, I know the Apple Health app also has that. So just checking your period, and okay, maybe this week I'm not going to be in a good mood, so you can just take it easy on yourself, be gentle with yourself. Maybe you're not as patient as normal, so just be gentle with yourself. Also, one important thing, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but also foods. Like I know especially girls, we like to do diets and everything. Okay, like me, let me not just stereotype us all, but I do like being on diets, just observing what I eat and everything. But when I'm on my period, I think it's very important for me to just indulge a little bit in the things that I like eating, because it's obviously not an easy time for your body. It really takes a toll on your body. Sometimes you feel really tired, sometimes you feel really hungry because your hormones are all over the place. So yeah, just also be aware of that. Okay, so moving on to medication. Like I said, the medication that I already take now, but I know that sometimes, like with the pain, it can really be unbearable. Like I had moments where my pain was really unbearable, and to say that sometimes it really is, but like I said, I've adopted these methods and it's been better. But where the pain was really bad, and also like the bleeding was very excessive, and I decided to no, I didn't decide to, but I did go to the doctor, and he put me on not quite a birth control tablet exactly, but it kind of works in the same way. So now this medication, now I'm coming at you as a pharmacy student and as someone who has experienced this firsthand. I know that, especially you girls, like I'm 23, and right now I'm kind of dragging y'all and judging y'all a little bit, especially girls that are younger like the younger girls, the younger ladies, I know that like with, you know, menstrual pain and stuff like that, it can get really painful. Trust me, I know it can get really uncomfortable. And sometimes, you know, your doctor will tell you it's better you take birth control, this will help. And it has helped some people, you know. But, you know, if you have not tried anything else and you just say, no, my pain is bad, and you're rushing to birth control or stuff like that, where, you know, you're most likely going to, especially like those, I know like, you know, people get excited by those birth controls that are like, you know, you're not going to have your period. And, you know, it's so exciting when you think about it. Do not trap yourself. It's not always a good idea to get onto birth control. And I know that sometimes we do research where we see influencers and people like me coming onto YouTube, and or maybe they talk about how they use birth control and it has helped them and everything. Or they might talk about birth control and say, oh no, but you know, I'm using this one and it works. The truth about birth control is that you do really have to do your research, talk to your doctor and all of that, and it works differently for people. But most importantly, it has a lot of side effects that you have to be aware of. Sometimes people start on these birth controls and they don't know the side effects that they come with, and then you end up suffering. Sometimes you listen to a person who's been taking it for 2 months, so far so good, you know, they're still excited about how they're taking it, and sometimes people are really in denial about the decisions they've made. And then you hear about how their process has been a year later, and they're telling you, stay off birth control. They've suffered things that they cannot undo, or things that have really made them go through the most with their bodies, you know, some unnecessary stuff that they've gone through, and you have just listened to them. You have just gone to your doctor, this is what I want and everything, and you're very adamant about it. You know, some people don't even care to really explain to you how this birth control works. And even if they do explain to you, sometimes I've noticed that girls can tend to be a little bit hard-headed, because, you know, the idea of not having periods sounds like fun. But I'm telling you, it's better to go through that 7 days of pain than to go through some of the things that birth control can make you go through. So this is not a birth control video, but I really do want to say that sometimes I've seen that people are very willing to try it out and all of that. And if your pain is not a 10 out of 10 and you have tried all other options, then please just try to find other things that you can do. And unless if, you know, it's really bad and that is your last option, because sometimes it can really, really do the most to you. So anyway, moving on, I'm going to answer the questions that I got on my Instagram now. The first question says, how best can men, anyone not on their period, help girlfriends or friends during this time? I say, you know, for this particular question, it's very different for different people. Your friends and stuff, you can help by making them hot water bottles. If you stay in the same house and stuff, make them the hot water bottles they need, you know, give them their medication, make sure they're fed, make sure you're not just, you know, annoying, because at this time our hormones are all over the place, you know, our emotions as well. So just make sure you're not being annoying, you're being kind, you're being understanding, and you're being extra patient, because patience is non-existent within most of us during this time. So just be kind and just, you know, personally ask them, what can I do to help you, because it's different for every person. Second question is, what do you do when the period pain is making you feel like you want to vomit? I've heard people really struggle with this vomiting thing. They just feel sick, nausea and all of that. So you can eat, you can drink maybe like a lemon water, you know, when you're taking the teas. Like I said, teas do help to make you feel better. So maybe you can put a bit of lemon into your tea. It can help with the nausea. Ginger as well. Sometimes you just have to write it out, but lemon does help with your nausea. And if it's really bad, you can get anti-nausea pills. You can, I think they're called antiemetics. So you can get anti-nausea pills from your doctor. You can just tell him, you know, I really struggle with nausea during my period, can you please help me? And then he can prescribe some anti-nausea pills for you that you can take during those days during your period where you feel nauseous. The second question was how to manage heavy flow. So I already said this, mefenamic acid does help with your heavy flow, and it can reduce your bleeding. If it's really heavy, you can go to the doctor and they can give you medication that will help reduce your this is medication, but they can also that's specific for your bleeding, that can reduce it if it's really bad. So you can go see your doctor. For me, I do have excessive bleeding, but it's becoming better now. But I use this. I don't have the original box. These are Cortex pads. These are the biggest ones you can get from Cortex. They're the all-nighter ones, so they come in a black package. I'm sure you guys have seen them, but I use this all the times. I've been laughed at when someone has asked for a pad and I've given them and they've told me that I'm using diapers. My mom, she's called these diapers before, but but yeah, they really do help. And you know, at most, like I can on the days my bleeding is the heaviest, 2 hours I can sit in these. Thank you to everybody who sent me the questions, and I hope this video does help you guys if you really do struggle with your menstrual cycle. If you don't, you're God's favorite, celebrate that. Kudos to you. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was really helpful. Comment down below if you have any other questions that you guys would like me to answer, and then I can do research and maybe I can do another video to just give you guys more information. I just hope this video helps to make things easier for you. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.